How do dogs learn? Join us for this special episode of the Genius Dog Challenge Behind the Scenes. Hi again. So welcome to our very special Genius Dog Challenge Behind the Scenes episode. My name is Shany Dror. I'm a researcher from the Family Dog Project. And in this episode, we're going to discuss how do dogs learn. To help us understand this, we have with us our expert guest, Professor Adam Miklosi, the head of the Family Dog Project. Hello, Adam. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
So our special program for today, we will be discussing with Adam how dogs learn, but we also have a very special guest with us that's going to demonstrate how they do that. So, hi, Isabella. Hi, Gaia.
Hi.
Welcome. And what we want to offer you guys at home, we will have soon, we will be showing you how Gaia learns the name of a new toy. And to those of you who have dogs at home and work with dogs, you probably know it takes a while to teach a dog a new command. Today, we're going to show you in live broadcast how Gaia learns the name of this toy. Isabel, can you show us the toy?
Yes, sure.
So this is the little toy. You see, it's a cute giraffe. And we are asking you to drop us a comment, okay? And we want you to let us know in the comments, how do you want us to call the toy? So come on, start. I see that we already have 21 people with us. Guys, come on, don't be shy. Drop us comments, tell us what you want us to call the toy. Okay, so while people are thinking about the toy and how they want to call it, Isabella, why don't you start with telling us a bit, how did you start training Gaia to learn the names of the toys? Because she knows now like about 100 toys, right?
Yeah, right. She knows more than 100 now. Actually, we show her the toy and we start playing with her and repeating the name several times. So I throw it to her, she catches, I hide it, she finds, and I keep repeating the name until I think she knows. And then we informally test her, asking for in the middle of other toys. It's basically like that, playing.
And how long do you think normally does it take her to learn the name of a new toy?
I think it's very fast. Like in 5 minutes, she already knows. Maybe she needs more repetitions to memorize, but in 5 minutes, she already knows that this toy has a name.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Is she also fast learning other things?
Yeah,
when you want to hear other commands?
Yeah, she catches the commands very fast, but it's a little bit different because when we want to teach her a command, we use induction or the clicker training. But with names, we only have to play with her. It's a little bit different.
Okay, cool. So we have already a few suggestions here. We have a Griffin, and we have here Patch, Ruffy. So, Adam, you can choose. How should we have another. Adam, which toy? How should we call this new toy?
Well, I mean, it's not easy because I don't know what kind of labels or names the Gaia has already learned. But for me, Rafi, if it's a new name for him, then that would be really nice and fun, maybe, and easy to pronounce in other languages as well.
No, Rafi is fine. Yeah.
Rafi is good?
Yeah.
Super. Okay. So I suggest that you start playing with her. Okay. And we will just show us how you start playing with her, and then we will move on to discuss this a bit in the background.
Gaia, olha o Rafi. Vem aqui. Olha o Rafi. Vou jogar. Pega o Rafi. Muito bem. Vem cá. Muito bem. Pega o Rafi. Muito bem. Pega o Rafi. Muito bem. Muito bem. Segura o Rafi. Isso. Muito bem. E pega o Rafi. Muito bem, garota. Pega o Rafi. Muito bem. It's basically like that.
So, Adam, I mean, we know that dogs can learn a lot of words, and there is the process when we teach them sit, for example. We normally do it by conditioning. Conditioning means that we are slowly teaching the dog that when we say sit and he sits, he gets food for this or whatever price. Do you think that, can we speculate a bit what is different in the way that Gaia is now learning? Why do we suspect that there is something different in the way that she is doing this?
Well, it's actually a complicated situation because what happens and what is also general in all conditioning methods is that you are associating two things. So you are associating the word sit with the action that the dog has to perform after listening to this signal by the human. So, and this is also what happens here, where a verbal label like now Rafi, is associated with an object that should be catched and retrieved for the owner. However, on the other hand, what I really see as a difference is the situation, the context. While in the, let's say, classical learning task, really there is a very strong effect of the reward. This is and because the whole situation is very arbitrary for a dog, that's why we need the reinforcement at the end, suggesting the dog, okay, now for this label, what you're now hearing, or what is signal, what you are hearing, you have to sit down. It is totally not logical for the dog to do. Why would the dog sit just for fun? No. But what we're seeing here is really that there's a social interaction happening. And in course of this social interaction, some reinforcement probably also plays a role, but this reinforcement is not coming such a way from the outside. It's probably somehow inside the dog who is really happy or is interested in sort of learning the names. And this is what makes this situation very special, because very similarly, that's what we see when we are teaching a child a name of an object or an action or whatever. And we see it here, this is a very strong parallel between how these dogs are learning and in comparison how children are learning.
Yes, and I think that's something amazing that, when you learn, I started as a dog trainer, and no one ever really speaks about other learning mechanisms. So it's basically all you hear about is Skinner and Pavlov, which is classical conditioning and operant conditioning. But we as humans, we know this is not how we learn words. I mean, if a kid had to learn words by always repeating that apple and then getting an app, like, it would take them forever to learn, right?
Yes, and I see this is the crucial question, what we could actually research, in a sense that the dog would be a very nice example, because we also think, especially now learning more and more about how computers learn, that the way you are learning might actually affect the representation of that things that are emerging in your brain. So how you are thinking about the word as a consequence of learning might actually depend on the way how you actually obtain that information. And this is what it makes it very exciting. I mean, if you just think about when that would every people probably recognize, learning about your mother language and comparing it, learning about a language as a foreign language. So, and then you just think how much you feel comfortable about an expression or about some meaning in your own language, in a second language. That also shows the difference between the effect of learning that happens in the case of humans. So probably how a typical dog might learn about the name of an object probably also differs from the way how these dogs are learning about the name of the object.
Mm-hmm. And when you say that you speak about how they're learning, what can we learn from what they are learning?
Well, this is very exciting question, because I mean, obviously for us, it's very important and interesting that these dogs are learning 50, 100, or maybe 200 words that have an object or that label an object, but this is not the key interest for us. What we would like to know is, for example, how the dogs are thinking about these objects. So whether they recognize some similarities. For example, in this case, now we had an animal-like object. Obviously, it didn't look like a giraffe, but it looked like a sort of an animal. So the question for Gaia could be whether he is able to categorize these toys in sort of animal-like or non-animal-like objects, or whether he's understanding concepts like size, whether some objects are bigger, others are smaller, or they are have a certain material, so some made from wood and others made from some other stuff. That is what we can then investigate, but only with those dogs who actually know at least hundreds of object names.
Mm-hmm. And we've been doing this research. The Genius Dog Challenge was about seeing how fast dogs can learn words. But if to be honest, we were actually planning this more with the aim of finding more dogs for this research. Because as you might have understood from our conversation, these dogs are quite rare. So what do you think we can do in the future? I mean, you mentioned object size, and what else how can this evolve? What more can we ask?
Well, I mean, there are several ways. So just if you look at the cognitive aspects of this, so one would be really to find out about the speed of learning. I mean, it's very rare, and hopefully Gaia will perform nicely later on, but that you can actually teach a dog in 5 or 10 minutes something about an object, in this case a name. But we would also be interested, or actually I would be very interested in finding out something about how now these objects can be sort of manipulated by the mind of a dog. So can I tell the dog, okay, get the blue giraffe and take it to the big, I don't know, yellow bucket, and so on. So maybe whether the dogs can actually now understand structures that might be very simple sentences, and then also we also test even shorter memory of the dog. So if I would say now, okay, bring the red giraffe put it into the bucket, and take the bucket and bring it to the, to Susie, and so on. So this is also what is interesting. So basically, whether the dogs can also use this knowledge and go one level higher, if you like, in the linguistic hierarchy. So that is also a very exciting question that nobody really studied in dogs in general.
And I think maybe for a lot of people that are watching us, this sounds something that's very abstract. But the way I look at it is, when I was young, the thing that most interested me was when I'm looking to the eyes of my dogs, what's going on in their brain. And with the questions that you just raised, we can actually get a glimpse into what is actually going on in our dog's mind, because we can understand how they are processing these objects and what's the difference between how we are seeing the world and how they are seeing the world. So I find this really, really fascinating. So I think we can soon go and see how Gaia is doing. Just before that, I want to ask you if you can explain a bit about the idea of novelty preference, because Gaia has now been playing with a toy for a few minutes, but when we will start the test, we are not going to ask about this toy. So can you explain a bit the idea of novelty preference, why we're not starting with the toy that we just played with?
Well, yes, I mean, the idea here is that, novelty preference is basically what it means, so that dogs and maybe other humans are preferring some novel objects. So now what happened with Gaia is that the dog was exposed to this interaction with the owner and the toy. So very typically, what a typical dog would do in this case, actually, if it's requested any object or anything, then he should actually prefer the novel object, because this is about what the dog just got some positive feedback from the owner. And this is very typical, not just for dogs, but even for small children. So I think this is what we have to exclude in this experiment, that the novel object, the object that would be asked is not actually that one that was introduced by this playing interaction.
Okay, Isabella, are you girls ready? You're ready? Okay, so you need to unmute yourself so we can hear what you're...
Okay.
Okay, super. So I'm going to ask you, you have a few other toys, right? Because this is not a really formal test, then we won't need you to be in another room. You can just face the camera and put the toys behind you. So let's put a few of the other toys behind you. Okay, and you can see that in the middle we have Rafi, our new toy. Okay, and maybe also because just to be 100% sure, can you close your eyes when you're looking to the camera, okay?
Okay, sure.
Okay.
I will be right here. Okay, all the toys.
So the first toy that we will be asking for is Kong.
Senta. Aqui, vem aqui. Gaia, cadê o Kong? Cadê o Kong?
Yeah, she's got it.
Garota! Muito bem.
Okay. So she's not going for the new toy. The next toy is going to be Disco. It's the frisbee.
Gaia, cadê o disco? Cadê o disco?
Yeah, she's got it. She's got it. She's just surprised that you're with your back to her. You can turn around and tell her to bring it.
Traz aqui pra mamãe. Gaia. It's crazy. Isso, garota. Muito bem. Muito
okay,
bem.
And now for the moment of truth. Let's ask for the new toy.
Okay.
So you can ask for Rafi.
Gaia, cadê o Rafi? Cadê o Rafi?
Yeah, she's got it. Ooh, congratulations.
Muito bem.
So that was super. Well done. I think we really did hear something phenomenal. I don't think anyone has ever tried to train a dog for something new, just like this in broadcast. And this is, I get super excited every time I see this because, I mean, come on, guys, these dogs are phenomenal. I wish my dog would learn things so fast. And I think that are not like open the garbage bin and something like that. That he's good at. Okay, cool. So thank you so much, Gaia and Isabella, for being with us.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you for inviting me. It was nice to see this.
So, guys at home, this was just a small, very small demonstration of what we can do. You're really very welcome to write us comments under this video. Let us know what are your questions. We would be super happy to answer them. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like. And this is just the beginning. We have so many really cool things coming up. So don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button. And we will see you in the next time.